Hi Tea Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out Mamamoo Don't Be Happy. Now this is Mamamoo, it's at least two of the members. We have Solar and Wheein and a feature that I don't think I know, but I might. This song is from around the time when I got into K-pop, so there's definitely a chance that I might have heard something, and I just don't fully remember because I was listening to a lot of things at that time. But it took me a second to get to this point, okay? Because I'm gonna be honest, putting together my master document of all the stuff for Mamamoo's discography intimidated me a little bit. There's a lot to go through, and I'm technically not finished because I still have to sort through some of the solo stuff, and it's fine. But as far as I can tell, this is the beginning. Hopefully. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. You can correct me down in the comments. I would love some guidance, honestly. There's just so much. But from what I can tell, this is the beginning. Some maybe pre-debut stuff to introduce people to the group and the members and everything. And I'm excited. Like I said, this is going back to when I got into K-pop. So I feel like there's going to be some like nice nostalgia to the sound of this that I'm looking forward to. For anyone who doesn't know, yes, I check out lyric videos first. Some of this is because will I get captions on a music video? Who knows? Especially from a song back when this came out. No idea when it comes to K-pop. And two, I got some audio processing things, all right? So it's easier for me to like fully understand the song, listen to it, actually hear all the elements without getting overwhelmed if I just check out a lyric video first and then we get into the music video and I can just take in the visuals and some of the storytelling and stuff for that, okay? Especially with K-pop, there's a lot going on. I get overstimulated. I also pause and I talk about stuff. So if any of that bothers you, leave now, forever hold your peace. If you complain about it in my comments, I'm gonna publicly shame you. That's just how it is. You've been warned. I don't want to hear about it. Let's check out this lyric video. I'm pretty excited. Nerves, but like good nerves, to like fully be throwing myself into the deep end of going through this odyssey. Mamamoo music. All right, let's see. Don't Be Happy. Ominous title. Okay. A little vocal run. I'm assuming the feature, he's an R&B artist, right? Something like that?
I never had a chance to say that I miss you, that I miss you. 항상 옆에 있을 거란 착각에 빠져.
Good little cry there.
이제 다른 남자품 안에 사랑받고 있고 다정한 그 모습으로 날 미치게 하고 후회한 만큼 가슴은 찢어질.
I love the guitars.
가만히 서 있는 내가 너무 화가 나고.
Ooh, okay. I love the guitars that are happening here. Some of the minimal stuff that's going on in the production has all this kind of empty space in between elements of it, which I think lends really well to the style of singing that we're getting so far. I think he's R&B. Again, I don't know. I admit ignorance, but I'm pretty sure he's done R&B stuff. Anyway, but the style of singing, I think having a bit of space in the production really lends to that, especially like storytelling. And I was just getting, I'm like, the Don't Be Happy, I'm like a little bit of an ominous sound, but if it's I don't want you moving on and being happier without me, I can get some of that feeling. And I think that's also lends a lot to having this empty space in the production, because it's, I feel the emptiness of you being happier with someone else, right? It's like I can feel the me standing still watching you from a distance, like having a fulfilling life, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. There's a little bit of that like resentment in there, but also the heartbroken feeling to the way that like the vocals are coming in. So I think that lends really well. I'm interested to see how we're going to get with the Solar and Wheein coming in with their vocals for storytelling wise. Not just, I'm sure they're gonna sound great, but the storytelling element of having a woman's voice in contrast to the story that's being told will be interesting. I love the like drums with the guitar. Ooh, a little lightening up of the sound there. The little cries in the voice too. The like heavier, darker tone. I'm assuming we might be getting into some of the other vocals, but love the lightning of that sound of Don't Smile. So having some of that like vulnerability coming in that twist in the melody of having that like thinner, more delicate sound in contrast to digging into some of those darker sounds where they feel a little bit more grounded. You can get a little bit more into maybe that kind of like resentment of not wanting someone to be happy, but having that thinner sound is more of that like hurt and vulnerability. It's like the tightening of the voice that you get when you're like emotional, right? So I think that the melodies are like mirroring that pretty well. Ooh, beautiful little vocal slide in. Oh, gorgeous. Ah, beautiful. Ooh, oh, I don't want to interrupt, but I think their voices are so good for this. Again, getting something that is in kind of that R&B style. Something I'm really excited for with just getting into Mamamoo in general is I'm like, their voices have such a rich tone to them, and I'm a sucker for a dark tone in general as someone who just loves like jazz, R&B, all of that sound. That instantly I was like, I'm in trouble because it's definitely just like a sweet spot for me. And I think that they fit so well with this and having that darker tone, but I think it's also great to have those higher like harmonies layered up with the vocals because it's a great contrast of having that like darker tone in the main vocal with those lighter sounds in the background. I think it adds a little bit of the like femininity to their performance in contrast to having a more like masculine voice introducing the song. I think it was a great way of having that kind of like vocal slide with all the vocals to transition the sound, just brightens, and then having that darker tone from Wheein, gorgeous. I'm assuming that this is correct enough. I didn't put a little disclaimer about lyric videos, but like I understand that they're not always like the most accurate in terms of who's singing what, when someone's singing, what the translations are. I get it, totally fine. I'm mostly here to get a basic idea of what the song is about and to listen to it. So again, everyone take a deep breath, it's fine. But yeah, I think that she sounded so good with having that like darker tone and having a little bit of grit to it. Like you can hear a little bit like the aggression in some of the notes, right? So again, like digging into some of that emotion, but instead of it being like thinner sound that we got from Bumki before, that having that little bit like activating a little bit of the false vocal cords to get the grit in her tone. It's like a little bit of like aggression, the like anger as opposed to the vulnerability. And I think that fits really well for having that silky kind of sound, right, from her vocals to then have that like grit to some of it is a great contrast as opposed to like having the darker sound from Bumki and then having that like really thin light sound in contrast. We have some like horns. Ooh, thinning out there too. Ooh, I wasn't ready to have the layered up vocals, but like I was saying, but having that "Don't you dare crack a smile," that line, the way that is telling me that it's Solar here again. Take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know enough about their voices to be able to recognize them yet. But having that, like, again, digging into some of that, like, lower part of our range, it's very much chest voice, right? There's a weight to that vocal. And I like that we have that, it's like this weight, there's a little bit of that, like, aggression or emotion from a place of, like, defensiveness, right? Like, anger being more of a defensive feeling. And then when we get to smile, thinning out that sound, the vulnerability coming out specifically with that, right? Again, for a song of Don't Be Happy, and from the lyrics of it being, like, I don't want you to be happier without me. I don't want you moving on because I'm not, right? I want it to be just as difficult for you as it is for me. And having the smile part, this outward show of happiness, be the thing that is like having that vulnerability come out. And I like the way that we're having the dynamics of them delivering it differently, even though it's the same line. like the synth coming through. Beautiful part of her upper range. Ooh, I love a vocal slide. I'm going back. Love it. I love getting the layers of the two voices. There's like some of that aggression coming through, almost like ping-ponging back, right? Between the two voices of having the more like masculine voice coming in and out and having the feminine voice coming in and out. I love having that kind of all mixed together, but not just harmonizing all the way through. Really nice way of bringing in, again, like this feeling of like resentment or like anger, but also like the vulnerability coming through. And I love getting that like thinner, lighter sound from what's being told to me is Solar. Okay. I do really want to say Solar. I'm sorry. I know that people have told me no, and I get it. Where I live, if it's a name, it's Solar, but that's probably just because I'm around French people. Anyway, I love getting, again, contrast that like really light sound to this like darker tone that she seems to have when she's singing. Again, I don't have enough of a sample size yet of all of her singing, but really like love having that like darker sound from all the voices here. It adds like a beautiful like weight but like warmth to the sound. It's so good. Good transition down. Beautiful. Yes! Wait! For that growl. And like dare? Beautiful. Ooh. Wait, I love the way that fell off. The idea of being happy, right? Of being like, don't be happy. And then everything like falling off at the end of the sound there, which I'm pretty sure is like the, like from the little Korean I know, is like the like don't, like this emphasizing like that part and having everything like fall off because that's like where the emotion is taking over. Beautifully done by her. Oh wait, wrong line. Change, probably. Like the will change. Okay, little vocal run. 아무것도 변하지 않을 거란 거짓말 같은 말은 필요 없어. Ooh, I love the way that we have all the voices coming together at the end of the like I don't need, or same part before of like previous part where it had that like falling of the sound from Wheein, right? I'm paying attention to also not just this part. I'm like also looking at the like writing for the rest of the lyrics. The translations are going to be what they're going to be. I don't know the accuracy of it. I don't actually speak Korean. I can't give you any further information on that, but I am paying attention to all the versions when I'm trying to compare different parts. Again, like having this like emotion of wanting someone like not to do something, or like things aren't going to turn out the way that I want them to, and having kind of these fall offs at the end of lines, I think is you can hold on that to that anger for so long, and then the heartbreak kind of breaks through, and you can hear that in some of the ways that they're like getting to the ends of these lines and the vocals are falling off at the end. Loved it. I think it's a great song to show off their voices, and they definitely have a bit of a unique style, especially for female voices for K-pop around this time, where a lot of female voices were that like really bright poppy pingy sound, right? And then to have kind of a darker, more R&B delivery to their vocals, I think is a great way of contrasting with what else was going on sonically in the industry. Loved it. I am pretty excited for this music video because I feel like the aesthetic, the nostalgia I'm gonna have for the aesthetic, it's gonna be good. And I don't have captions on this, so that's why we check out the lyrics first. Already start in black and white, which is delightfully moody and dramatic already. It's like old Hollywood. The like orchestral music, black and white. I never had a chance
to say that I love you.
Ooh, is this one gonna be like different? I guess maybe because he's not the original artist isn't there. Anyway, sorry, I wasn't ready for us to start off with not having the feature. It's a little bit different with like music at the beginning too. I know there's multiple versions of this too, so.
To say that I love you, that I love you. 있는 자존심 다 버리고 이렇게 빌고 있는 나인데 이제 다른 여자뿐만의 사랑받고 있고 다정한 그 모습으로 날 미치게 하고 후회한 만큼 가슴은 찢어질 것 같고 가만히 서 있는 내가 너무 화가 나고.
The black and white, so fun. Anyway, like the old Hollywood over even just showbiz kinds of things. I think it's also really interesting visually for the song too, of being outwardly doing okay, but then internally there's like more conflict happening, right? Of having to perform and put on like a mask and be okay in front of the cameras, but then there's like stuff going on internally. I even love this of having the like black and white, right? White background and the black background, right? Also just the outfit choices are like taking me back. Yeah, this came out in 2014. I can feel it.
후회한 만큼 가슴은 찢어질 것 같고 가만히 서 있는 내가 너무 화가 나고 행복하지 마 절대로 행복하지 마.
The like twirling the cord on the phone.
Don't you dare cry 'cause 행복하지 마 절대로 행복하지 마. 아무것도 변하지 않을 거란 거짓말 같은 말은 필요
The hair flip though. I love that there's like phone choreography.
행복하지 마 절대로 행복하지 마. 아무것도 변하지 않을 거란 거짓말 같은 말은 필요 없어. 내가 너에게 제일 친한 친구란 말은 집어줘. 뭐가 그렇게 두려워서 솔직하지
Ooh, little activation on that dance move.
Think about the times that only you and I know. How can you throw it away? 제발 떠나가지 마.
Ooh, I love the crossover of like the different scenes, but also I have to go back for the vocal slide. But I was also thinking it's a great way of utilizing, I don't know how much was going on for them in terms of putting together all of this funding, resources, connections, and all of that as well. But it's a pretty simple set to put together too, and that it's like basic stuff that you would need for a photo shoot or a filming like soundstage situation anyway. And having that black and white means that you don't really have to like coordinate colors as much either, at least for this part. I don't know if at some point it switches to color, but I think that lends to using what you have as well. And I think that it really helps showcase their voices because there's not a lot going on in terms of distracting with these elaborate sets or costumes or like intense storyline things going on, right? It's about showcasing their voice, especially if this is early on in introducing the vocalists that you're going to have in your group, right? I think that it lends really well to simplify things down and have people focus on the vocals as well.
That only you and I know. How can you throw it away? 제발 떠나가지 마. 행복하지 마.
The slow-mo too.
행복하지 마. 나를 떠나버리면서 don't you dare cry 'cause
That's just the growl.
행복하지 마. 절대로 행복하지 마. 나를 떠나버리면서 don't you dare cry 'cause 행복하지 마. 절대로 행복하지 마. 아무것도 변하지
Some hints of the choreo too. Do we have full choreo?
행복하지 마. 절대로 행복하지 마. 나를 떠나버리면서 don't you dare break a smile. 행복하지 마. Oh no no no. 아무것도 변하지 않을 거란 거짓말 같은 말은 필요 없어.
Even like the lights and stuff. I also love just the aesthetic, the old Hollywood, these old microphones, is like performing up on like a stage, having the like lights behind them, utilizing some very like simple things to add some dynamics to the visuals without actually like pulling attention away from the vocal performance. I feel like this is very much about showcasing that specifically, and I think it does a really good job of just kind of like showing that very simply. And I was thinking, like, do we have actual choreo? I don't know, because feature early on, I don't know how much they were like performing or promoting this, but I like having these like little detail moments. As it Wheein, who's doing a bunch of the kind of little choreo moments as well. So I like showcasing some of that. Again, keeping in mind that this is a bit of an introduction to the people that are going to be part of Mamamoo, right? I love the way that softens out at the end. We're getting a preview or something? Because I'm like, that was the song. Or their part of the song. Ooh, the silhouette. Yay! Ooh, we're getting like a full like introduction moment. Because I was like, I love it. This little preview. I love it with the like almost like swing. Oh, I love that. I love it all like opening credits to be like, here are their names, here are their faces. And again, I love this kind of like swing music. Again, like I was saying, having a bit of an old Hollywood feeling because black and white, some of the elements, visuals in this video as well. We're leaning in to that side, like kind of old Hollywood imagery, and then having something that's like old, kind of even like the filter on it as well, right, is trying to sound a little bit this like older classic sound, again like swing kind of music. I think that that's super fun, and again showing a distinct style, I think, from some of the other like groups that were happening at the time, let alone like the girl groups that were happening. So I think that's really fun, just like in contrast to some of the stuff that was going on in K-pop at the time, to have something that is very much kind of making them an outlier in contrast to some of those things. And I like getting a nice like introduction to like the group as a whole. I love, especially even just the like announcer or voice of like introducing. Love that. That's so fun. I think that this is going to be a group that I like get sucked into so fast because, again, like I said, I love like jazz, R&B, swing, blues, like all of that. I'm like, absolutely. Old Hollywood, black and white films and all of that too, so I'm like, definitely pull me into all of that. So very excited to see how they were like introducing everything, right? See, if I hadn't listened to the song first, I wouldn't have gotten to hear the whole thing and I wouldn't have known what the lyrics were talking about, but I really excited with that. I think that starting off with something that's very much in that sound that I very much like personally very much makes me interested in getting into the rest of their stuff. And again, hearkening to stuff that's like old Hollywood, I think it fits really well the message of the song. But again, putting on this like facade or this character or this like person that you need to be in front of the screen, and then there's like other stuff going on behind the scenes, but also it's like a bit of a sophisticated style as well, right? Like it feels like there's a more like mature leaning to this, but in a way that there's like an elegance to it in the way that we think of like old Hollywood. I'm interested to see how we play on that and also begin to deconstruct that, because old Hollywood is certainly not without its issues. So I think that it's interesting to start with that, and there's this like, glam feeling to it, put together feeling, like elegance to it, and then seeing how we progress with that image as they like develop as a group and continue forward. But very nice introduction to them as a group. Obviously I've checked out the Killing Voice, so I have a little bit of a taste test of some of the music that's to come. I got intimidated, okay, and I'm fairly certain that this is the beginning, but I have no idea. Okay, I'm just doing my best trying to put together discography stuff. I like to go chronological so I don't like miss anything or get lost in like the story of how the group developed. steps. So any guidance would be definitely appreciated as I continue on this. But this is certainly not going to be the end of me checking out this group. I think it's a great way of pulling me back into it after getting a little bit intimidated by my research. But I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post a Mamamoo reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.